All right, so I know you did your homework, right? You did your homework. I'm confident. So let's get into part 3. When we left off, Lorenzen's friend was dropping him off at Cheryl's house after they got into an argument. So when Lorenzen was getting out the car, he told his friend, hey, listen, man, I'm going to just go and calm her down real quick. Then I'm gonna call you so we can hang out. And his friend was like, sure, but Lorenzen never called him. And so his friends kind of just chunked it up to Lorenzen going to sleep, or maybe the plans had changed. And so he was like, I'm going to just holler at him later. And Lorenzen didn't show up to his sister's baby shower. He wasn't responding to his mother's phone calls. He also didn't show up for one of his really good friends' weddings. However, this wasn't too far out of character because no one was super alarmed at this point, okay? But his mother did become very suspicious that something wasn't right when Lorenzen was not responding to his daughter's phone calls. And so at that point, she reached out to the police department and filed a missing persons report. So after she filed the missing persons report on July 21st, the police started their investigation to try to see what's going on with Lorenzen. Why could he be missing? What dealings did he have? What's going on? So they conducted an interview with Shara since she was the last person to see Lorenzen. And she said that Lorenzen on the night of July 19th left with a drug dealer and 2 other sketchy characters. Now, Lorenzen had accumulated about $55 million throughout his NBA career. However, that started to dwindle. And so he did a lot of investments in different companies. He actually had a sports cafe that was run by his father. And he also had a auto detailing company. And out of that auto detailing company, he actually sold 2 of his cars to a well-known drug dealer in Memphis. And so the feds were actually looking into this 6 months prior to Lorenzen being missing because they wanted to see, was that legitimate? Was that a drug deal? And what they found out is that it wasn't. It was actually a legitimate car sale. And so they kind of disproved that Lorenzen was going out with those people on the night of July 19th. Another part of their investigation included a 911 call that was made on the night of July 19th. And during this 911 call, there was no one speaking, but you could hear someone breathing heavily into the phone and several gunshots going off. The phone eventually disconnected, and the 911 operator did not call that number back to see if they could be of any more assistance. They were able to find which tower that cell phone was beaming off of, and it was actually pretty close to where Lorenzen lived and where his mother lived, in that 3-minute distance. And so they went there, and on the day of July 28th, they found Lorenzen dead in a wooded area. Stay tuned for